Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're talking about honeyberries, so stay tuned. The plant that I want to talk to you guys about today is the honeyberry. It's not this dead plant wall that you see behind me. These are maypops, and they're going to come back and they're going to look good. I promise. You can still listen to me. The plant I want to talk to you about is this one right here. This is a honeyberry, and it's one of the first plants to flower in the spring. The pollinators are all over this because there's nothing else flowering for them at this time of year. And a lot of people get worried because this plant is already flowering and there's still frost in the forecast, and that's completely okay. They're not going to be affected by that. They're one of the few plants that can flower and not get destroyed by a frost. For anybody who hasn't heard of a honeyberry looks like an elongated blueberry, though it's not related to a blueberry at all, and it has a very tangy type of flavor to it. It's a little sour. I actually like them better than blueberries. They're great in things like oatmeal, and we like to make a lot of jams out of them. I don't think you can beat a honeyberry jam. You're probably never going to find it at the store, so this is something you're really going to have to grow in your own backyard. That being said, they're super easy to grow. They don't like full sunlight in my experience. The heat of the summer is a little too much for them. It's going to scorch those leaves and you're going to end up with a plant that looks like it's dead and completely defoliated. But you shouldn't worry about it if that's the case. It's not dead in most cases. Like if you're really not that good at taking care of plants and you have a history of dead plants, it might be dead. But for the most part, it'll bounce back the following spring. And start the process all over again. If you can, plant it under the shade of another tree. If you can plant other fruit trees that are going to get larger, or fruit bushes around it that are going to get larger and maybe block out that afternoon heat, they really enjoy that. You are going to need at least 2 different varieties in order to get fruit set. But honestly, these fruits taste so good that you're probably going to want to plant like 100 of them. And they don't take up a whole lot of space. I've heard some people talking about how vigorous they are. That's not been my experience. I've never pruned these at all. They've been in the ground for years. Granted, that may be the variety. I've got a little bit larger variety back here, but generally I don't see them being massive plants. But just like anything else, you could prune it back to whatever size, whatever shape you wanted to, and they're going to respond perfectly fine to that. So you guys have got to get the honeyberries, especially if you live in those colder planting zones. I can promise you, if you can't grow any other type of fruit because you're living in such a cold environment, you can definitely grow these. Like, these are going to be in the frozen tundra, okay? These plants don't mess around. So honeyberries, super easy to care for. They like to be in a little bit of shade, and they're going to produce tons of fruit for you, and they're delicious, whether you're eating them fresh or using them in baking or in jams. So let's be honest, guys. I've already sold you on the plant. Where can you get these plants? We're actually going to start selling them on April 15th on our website, the American Fig Company. I know, the fig company. We started with figs, but now we're branching into everything. So if you guys want honeyberries and you want different varieties of honeyberries, we're going to have a bunch of them. So theamericanfigcompany.com. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and share with any of your friends who are looking for something different for the garden that's not going to be at the grocery store. These are not going to be at the grocery store, and they're amazing. Thanks so much for watching, guys.